Hey guys, your old buddy Steve-O here. Excuse me, I got nailed on the shoulder here just a few minutes ago and it's kind of itchy now. This is why the bees didn't go after my tie-dyed shirt, but they did go after my black shorts today, just in case anybody's wondering how that works. They equate dark with aminals. Trying to get my whole head in the frame there, which is a trick for me. Okay, so where are we? I don't have an outside bee update right now. I'm probably going to go out there at some point this evening. I've got a bunch of stuff to move around. Those of you on the Fat Bee Man's stuff, a lot of you helped me with where to go with all this trouble that I'm having. Ultimately what I did, I went out and I bought, for anybody that didn't know, went out and I bought a mini nuke from a guy who turns out is the program director for my local county bee club. Not bad. I got a personal invite to go Monday night to the bee meeting, and probably going to try to make that. We're going to talk about making mead. They're bringing a guy in from halfway across the state to teach that. Not a bad thing to know, especially if you're kind of prepping and waiting for the end of the world. So, or if you just like drinking. Anyway, so here's where we are today. Yesterday I had a hive that was in bad shape, freaked me all the hell out. I don't mind saying so. I spent the morning calling people and talking to folks. What do I do? What can I do? Talking to people at Don's site, and I got a lot of good intel. Got a lot of good information. The hive box I was going to do the split into, I just left like 4 frames in that yesterday because there were bees all over them, and I figured I could put some of my other frames in there around them, and I thought that I would have to shake some bees in that at some point and put a frame of eggs and larvae in there, but they stayed in the box. They did not go home. And I'm not just talking about like nurse bees. I'm talking about flying bees have moved literally 6 feet. I went out there and threw a tape measure on it. They've moved 6 feet and did not return to the old hive. So when I see that, I question these people that say, oh, you got to move them a half a mile or they'll come back to the box. I don't think that always happens. Certainly didn't happen here. So my next step is I'm going to build a nuke box to put the nuke in that I bought last night. I'm going to take 1 frame of eggs and larvae and put it in the box that I was trying to split into last night. I'm going to take another frame with eggs and larvae on it. I'm going to put that in the old original hive that's got 2 deeps going on it. I'm actually going to have to pull some of the frames out of they've got because they're honey bound is what the term people used. I guess that's not a term I'd heard before. I had no idea they would do this. Fill up every possible cell with nectar the way they did and pollen. It's the craziest looking thing you've ever seen. So I've got a little bit of work to do out there. It's not that big a deal, but once I start doing it, probably going to be later this evening, sometime after 6 o'clock or so. That's if it doesn't rain. That's what kept me from doing anything last night. It may keep me from doing anything again today. I just don't know. So that's kind of the update for the bees. And rather than make 2 videos today, I'm just gonna do like a rough cut, like jump cut or whatever they call it in the movies. And we're gonna talk about the surgery thing. So hang on. There you go. There we go. Now we're on a different topic. Take your Dramamine. You'll be better. I'm about 10 days out from seeing the doctor, but as some of you know, I was having trouble with this stupid camera, and I couldn't record anything. The voice, the sound, and the video would not stay together. I bought new rechargeable batteries, and they last forever. The ones that are in there now are still in the blue. They've been running 3 hours. They actually ran through the 8 gigabytes SD card I bought. So I've got a new SD card, got new batteries, and that seems to have fixed 90% of my problem. I do still have a little bit of skip going on, but then it catches up in another frame or 2. So yeah, as again, you pay 10 bucks for something that's 8 or 9 years old, you're not going to get top of the line. I mean, this is not a Sony shoulder cam that they're using to film the deadliest catch. So anyway, back to the doctor. In the last month, I had dropped about 7 pounds, 8 pounds, something like that. I have lost a little bit more since then. We're still in the pipeline. Everything's going good. Had one screwed up day where I was really tired, and in the afternoon I completely spaced the diet. Came in from out back, made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, sat here and ate it, and then thought about what in the hell am I doing? And then in about an hour I caught myself sitting here eating crackers. And again, you know, I was tired, and so that day went it was gone. Probably ate 1,500 more calories that day than I should have. But the next day, got back on the horse. And yesterday, I was about 400 calories short of what I was supposed to be eating because I didn't eat breakfast. I ran right out back. Then I got all wound up on the telephone. As some of you know, I probably would have thrown up in my bee veil out there when I was doing that inspection the second time around because I freaked out. Don't mind saying so. A lot of money invested out there again this year and little to show for it if I don't keep this going. Sorry about that. I just booted the tripod. So anyway, that's where we are today. We're continuing on. My next visit with the doctor is on the 7th of July. I'm going to do everything I can between now and then. I'm moving around a lot more, getting out and back a lot more. Heat is killing me right now, but I'm still going out there. I've got an easy up frame screwed down to the back porch, and I'm throwing a tarp up over part of that so I can be out there working. And I'm getting ready to go out there and do that now and move some wood around. Maybe I'll go out and show you my fancy wood moving procedure that I've got. I had guys cracking up at Lowe's this morning. I showed up at Lowe's at about 10 o'clock this morning. The place was just packed with professional construction guys, pickup trucks and trailers and vans with trailers, and one guy was up there with a big stake side dump pickup truck picking up 2 sheets of sheetrock. I show up there. I bought 4 8-foot 1x12s and 2 sheets of Luan to make lids with, and I hauled it all, and a 36 bottles of water in a thing and screws. Hauled it all in a Kia Rio, and those guys were cracking up. Man, you'll never get all that in there. I told them, I said, y'all want to make a bet? But I couldn't get any takers. And if they think this is wild, they should have seen the day I was hauling the 10-foot 2x4s out of there, or 10-foot 1x4s. They were hanging like out on the floor, out the window, flags, and it was crazy. But I got them home. So that's life here at Casa de Stivo right now. Trucking on with the bees, trucking on with the weight control thing. I may in fact make a little video later on when I'm messing around out there with the bees. I don't know. We just have to see what the weather does. If it looks like it's going to rain, I may just suit up really good and smoke everybody really good out there and make them generally unhappy a little bit so that they go down in the boxes, but that way they won't be flying around and stinging me. Only got stung one time yesterday and all of that, and it happened after I got back in the house. I got nailed on the back of the head, and I currently have a thing the size of the tip of my thumb on the back of my head. So what are you going to do? But let me see, what else have I got? I don't know that he'll ever see this, but I want to say this out loud. I want to thank Mr. Massengill from the Johnson County, North Carolina Beekeepers Association for helping me out yesterday, because otherwise I would not be available to join the Beekeepers Association because I wouldn't have had bees to keep. Thank you, Mr. Massengill. Thank you, Mr. Lassiter, even though you didn't have any queens. And thank you to Steve in Northeast Raleigh, who I never could get a hold of again. I couldn't find your phone number the second time around. So if any of you know these people, send them to the video, tell them I'm thanking them, and that's all I got for today, unless we go out back and do something else. That's all I got for right now. Y'all have a good afternoon. Steve-O, we're out. Bye. Thought this was well worth filming because this is the front porch of my house. The box that I took yesterday, these are the frames that were in it. And there's a couple of them there had honey on the frame, and my bees from out back have discovered this. Now, I don't know how your wife is. Mine is not crazy about these bees to start with. So this is what they're doing there. Now I'm going to go out in the yard and show you what it looks like from shooting from their yard to the front door. I don't think she's going to run this gauntlet tonight. Okay, this is kind of a front door shot here. I can't tell what's on the screen myself because it's too small for me to see without reading glasses on, but trust me, there are probably maybe 100 or 150 bees buzzing around the front door right there around the deck.